September 8th, 2009. Kunar Province, Afghanistan. The sun rose like it always did, dusty, indifferent. Inside the Tactical Operations Center, 21-year-old Marine Corporal Dakota Meyer sat quietly. The air was stale. Radios hummed, maps rustled. His team, 4 Americans and several Afghan allies, had pushed into the Ganjgal Valley at dawn. Dakota had stayed behind. Orders. Suddenly the radio snapped alive. "Taking fire! Heavy fire! We're surrounded! We need help! Now!" The words pierced the silence. Dakota's heart stopped. His hands gripped the radio. He looked around the command tent, expecting movement, action, but instead, silence. Blank stares, cold protocol. "Too dangerous," the officer said. "We can't send anyone in." He wanted to scream. Instead, he looked down at the dog tags resting against his chest. Those weren't just names. They were friends, brothers. Dakota exhaled, slow and deep. He knew what he had to do. Without orders, without backup, he ran outside, climbed into a Humvee, and grabbed the wheel. A lone gunner jumped into the turret beside him. No air support, no ground support, just 2 Marines against hell. The engine roared, and they drove toward the valley. Bullets sliced the air. Mortars lit the hills. Trees exploded into splinters. The Ganjgal Valley wasn't a battlefield. It was a trap. Dakota didn't care. He slammed the vehicle forward. Dust rose around them. Shadows moved between the rocks. Enemy fighters everywhere. Still, he charged. He reached the edge of the village. Smoke poured from shattered homes. Gunfire echoed through narrow alleys. He found wounded allies crawling through the dirt, bleeding and broken. Dakota jumped out, dragged them in. One by one. Shot at, cursed at, surrounded. He went back. Again, and again, and again. 4 times he entered that death trap. 4 times he came out, carrying life, or what was left of it. Blood soaked through his sleeves. Sweat burned in his eyes. Metal shrapnel scraped his armor. He found them. His team. Near a mud wall. Still. Motionless. His boots slowed. His voice caught in his throat. He dropped to his knees. They were gone. Time froze. He could hear nothing now, only breath. Only the thudding of his heart. But even in death, his brothers deserved dignity. Dakota stood, shoulders heavy, soul heavier. He pulled each of them onto his back, one at a time, and began the long walk out. Gunfire chased his heels, dust clouded his vision. The Humvee shimmered in the heat far in the distance. He fell, got back up, fell again, cursed, prayed, and still he carried them. Behind him, the Afghan interpreter wept. "We must go," he cried. "We'll die here." But Dakota shook his head. "I won't leave them." He didn't. Not one was left behind. When they finally returned to the base, Dakota collapsed, physically whole, spiritually broken. He never talked about it, not really. But the valley remembered, and so did those who watched from afar. Years passed. One day, a letter came, the White House. In 2011, Dakota Meyer, only 23, stood in front of the President of the United States. Crowds cheered, flashbulbs popped. A Medal of Honor was placed on his chest. It gleamed. But Dakota's eyes stayed on the floor, not out of shame, but respect. Because in his heart, the medal didn't belong to him. It belonged to the men who never came back, to the ones who bled beside him, to the silence in the valley that still echoed their names. And in that silence, Dakota stood, not as a hero, but as a brother who kept his promise. A Marine to the end.